Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast with Sam and Casey. I am one of your co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam. Let's get screaming.
And on this episode, we hit the streets of South Africa as we are joined by Ryan Kruger, director and writer of the goopy, gross-out Screambox hit Street Trash and the 2022 pandemic hit. Big fan of this one, Fried Berry.
Street Trash is a spiritual sequel to the 1987 cult classic in which a group of homeless people fight to stop their government from literally melting them down with a chemical bioweapon. Ryan, welcome to the show. Congrats on the movie. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. It's been a great week or two and a hell of a lot of interviews and stuff, and obviously it's great that Street Trash is on Fandango now and Apple and Amazon Prime, and then it hits Screambox in December, which is in a few days. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been great just to see so many people enjoying the film, and it's just great to have one of these old school type of movies with the prosthetics and stuff and goo, and I think we don't get enough of that these days. So it was like me going back to my childhood and making something that I would see in the 80s or early 90s as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you perfectly nailed that. Yeah, you nailed that vibe 100%. I mean, you guys shot this on 35 too, so it has that film quality about it. It has that timeless quality about it too, which is something we don't get to see in a lot of modern horror movies. So you guys nailed that on the head for sure.
Cool. Thanks.
So Ryan, you talk about making a movie that's kind of a throwback to those 80s, early 90s gore flicks. What's your personal history with the original Street Trash prior to taking this movie on?
Yeah, I was a fan. Growing up, it was one of those films that I clearly remember growing up with, watching it on my little TV in my room with my friends or having it on VHS. So it was when I was approached to do this film, straight away I was like, fuck, I know this film. This is really cool. I never would have thought I'd make a film in the world of Street Trash. But again, as a 80s film lover and stuff like that, I'm always one of those people, and many people are. As soon as they hear that something's getting redone or something, I'm just like, fucking don't fucking redo it. And this. So it's one of those. So straight away when I was approached, it was like, I want to make it like a loose sequel. For a new audience, it can be a standalone film. But as a fan of the original and fans of the original, they'll see when they watch this film. We actually mentioned the first film in this film, and so it's for me. I wanted to do something completely different, but have that same vibe and make it a loose sequel, so fans know that it's not just another remake and copying scene for scene. For me, it was all about having a stronger narrative story compared to the original, and then having strong characters that you can that you enjoy and go on this on this journey with.
Yeah, I've heard you mention in other interviews that this is John Hughes' version of Street Trash, and I think you nailed it on the head of what the combination of that would be.
I love all 80s films, and obviously John Hughes is fucking great. So for me, it was if John Hughes made a fucking melt movie, this would be it.
Yeah, that's
absolutely awesome. Your core cast definitely has a little bit of a Breakfast Club vibe going on throughout this.
It's also that that end part of the movie, spoiler, but that's just that end part of the movie where they're all sitting there and then the music comes in, and it's it's that Breakfast Club weird science. The music comes in, and it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious then, how did you get attached to doing Street Trash? Because obviously you did Fried Berry before this, and that was a huge hit during the pandemic. I love that movie, and as soon as I heard your name attached to Street Trash, I'm like, there's no one else that can make another Street Trash. How did you get involved with
Yeah, it was one of those things. So when Fry Barry was on Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, a lot of people was mentioning my name, saying this guy would be good for Ryan Kruger would be great for Street Trash, and the producers basically had the rights for many years, and they were looking for that right fit. And as soon as they found that, they approached me and they were like, "Would you like to do it?" and all this, and I was like, "Yeah, that'll be awesome." And then obviously, then I had to come up with a concept and again do something different and stuff. So yeah, it was basically because of Fry Barry, I got this movie, and I think it's a cool follow-up film, from Fry Barry. I think it's a nice follow-up film from there. Also, it's in that same world as Fry Barry, but at the same time, Fry Barry is obviously quite dark and quite experimental, but still there is like that narrative story there and character arc there. But and again with Fry Barry, it still has that heart. And then with this one, it's just more of a narrative story, but still crazy and wacky, but also has a bit of heart as well. You know what I mean, with characters and stuff that you reach for. And when somebody does die, I'm not going to say who, but when somebody does die, you're like, oh no, like you're reaching for them, and you don't want it to happen.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments in this movie where I was like, oh no, not that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you created like a whole new cast of characters, like nothing's taken over from the original. Can you talk us through like creating those characters? Particularly, my favorites are 2-Bit and Sockle, who you have in your
everybody loves
there.
2-Bit and Sockle. That's like the thing. Everybody loves 2-Bit and Sockle. I couldn't make a film without having Gary Green, Fry Barry, in this film. I'm like, obviously, like he's going to be in there, and he suits being in this film. So I mean, when I was writing the film, I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be in South Africa. I knew it was going to be about the homeless. I knew I was going to follow like a cool gang that I wanted with the homeless people, and already had like actors in mind that that I work with and I wanted to work with again. And and then obviously I wanted to set it in not in present day, but in a dystopian future, because it looks visually better, and it's just cooler to have visually something like that instead of just having it in in modern day and everybody's dressed in modern clothes. It's like it was so much cooler to have grit with these characters that were following on the street, and the rich is rich, the rich is the government, there's no middle class, the poor is the homeless. It just seemed like the right world to set it in the future, and also have that like Brazil film vibe to it. This is just like a fucked up future, and then and Escape from New York and stuff like that. There's just those like those elements, and and each of the characters, obviously they're all different. You've got this mother and father to the gang, which is like Ronald, who like is the dad, and then you've got Chef, that's like the mum almost, and Ronald just like looks after everybody, and then you've got the weird fucking 2-Bit, and then you have the character Alex that comes into it, and she's like new to the group, and then you have Pap and Vorse, which is the comic relief, so the it's twins, a mixture of very different characters. And then with 2-Bit's character, again, I had to put Gary in this film, and obviously, he's just this fucking acid head, basically, that's took way too much drugs, and and he sees this imaginary friend the whole time that's kind of like running his life or like taking over his life, and it's like this constant like annoying thing for him. And I think it was only the second draft of the film that I put Sockle in, and I just thought it was a great idea. One, to create a support boat to work with Gary, because I work with Gary very, very closely to get exactly what I want. I have to jump through a lot of hoops to get what I want with Gary. He's not a trained actor, so it's very much, rehearsing a hell of a lot with him. And then, I've always say I've got like a 3-step thing the way I work with Gary. So I rehearse many, many, many things with him long before the shoot, and then when it comes to shoot, we rehearse, and sometimes we'll come up with some other ideas, and then in post I shape things and with the edit and create comedy beats and stuff like that. But again, Gary's great. I'm not taking anything away from Gary. I love working with him. I love his look. Obviously, he has this very unique presence and look, and that's what I love about Gary. And nobody looks like Gary. He is who he is. And then and it was just fun to put that support both as this little duo of him and Sokol, which they just complemented each other in so many ways. So it was good, and it just made it even more funnier. And the fact that I did Sokol's voice as well, that I could just work with Gary more. So that was cool. And it was just a lot of it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is this your first time working with a puppet character, with a non-human character?
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, what's the difference trying to do that with your actors? Obviously, he's mostly interacting with Gary in the movie.
Until the third act, when another character can all of a sudden see it.
Yeah. Even like that delivery line with Two-Bit, he's like, "You can see him," and it's like for somebody finally can see this thing that he sees. He's like, "Yeah, of course I see him." He's like, "Has he been there the whole fucking time?" So and it's it's the first time I've done. I haven't I do a lot of acting work, and I think this is the first time that I've really done some. I think I've done some voiceover for a commercial or something quite a few years back. Apart from that, actually, you know what? I fucking lie. I just remember now, and I have done some voiceover stuff, but I haven't actually brought it out yet. But it was a while ago. It's I'm still putting it together. It's actually a Fry Barry adult cartoon that I still haven't released.
Yes.
So I've still got. I actually forgot all about that. So I did that, and then and that's actually probably the reason why I probably fucking played Sokol actually in the end with the voice. And then when we recorded Sokol's voice, I was on set doing it at the time, which is cool. So it wasn't in post. It was nice just to shout at Gary the whole time, and be this character,
That's awesome.
Yeah, horned up little creatures are some of my favorite things in horror movies.
He was just horny, man. He just wanted to fuck.
Yeah,
he just wanted to fuck everybody.
Yeah. He's so lovable that way.
Yeah, and he's even more lovable at the end of the credits.
Yeah. I gotta ask about the gore effects in this movie, because I just want to know how you guys did them, because most of them are it's like the melting is them bubbling up and then it bursts. How are those prosthetics made? How do you guys do those?
Yeah, so I work with the company called Creations, Adrian Smith. So in pre-production, we obviously we had a lot of meetings on how can we do this, can we do that, and we're coming up with ideas. I had ideas already on the script, and then when it came to those scenes, we could expand on it if we wanted to. It's like, oh, maybe we can do this as well, maybe we can do that. And it was all obviously all in camera. Some of the prosthetics on the actors, they were in for 10 hours or fucking more on some of them, and which was very uncomfortable. And then we shot this in winter as well. So when we have all these tubes, in the eyes or out the ears or coming out of places and stuff, and you've got the one tube, this is pushing out blood, the other one is pushing out the multicolored goo. And then because we were shooting in winter, we would do a take and it's and the neck's inflating and bubbling and whatever, and if we're concentrating the arm, wrist or snapping or whatever, or the back, blowing up and stuff. So it was sometimes, you know, you would have to reset and do it again. And then again, because it was winter, you know, after the first take with the actor, you know, you got all these tubes, and some tubes don't always like pop out. So then it's just like going down their body, and they're just freezing and cold, and it's just sticky. And, you know, they were on set for, you know, in the cold and lying on the pavement going, and they're probably thinking, why the fuck did I do this now? I thought it would be cool to die in a film. And then, you know, and then only afterwards when they, you know, when they're all dressed, they're like, yeah, it was cool, but I'll probably never do it again. But yeah.
Yeah. So you have a sequence like that start. I mean, the whole thing starts off with like a tremendous gore gag, but then you go right into this chase sequence that has, you know, bricks of cocaine being smashed against people's faces, and like within the first 10 minutes, you sever a penis in this movie. It's kind of incredible. Can you talk us through like what filming that chase sequence was? Because I loved it. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, it was cool. You know, there's those like little nods to the original. You know what I mean? There's those nods to the original just to play homage to and respect to the original. You know, the original started with that like little chase. So, you know, I wanted to start with a bang, with a melt, but then introducing the characters, then we go, you know, into the chase. So yeah, that, you know, we filmed the chase in like, I think it was in like 2-3 locations, and we shot that on different days. So a few of it's actually broken up into like 3 different days when we actually shot that. Because we ended up doing some pickups where we got like even more extras when they're going through all the crowds and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of running. Sean Cameron Michael and Andrew Rue, the maggot, the cop, boner cop, you know, they did like a lot of running. So every time I was like, yeah, guys, we're gonna have to do it again. We're gonna have to do another one, or we're taking this from the drone, or this, you know what I mean? So they did a hell of a lot of running, but luckily they were fit enough to keep doing it the whole time. And then again with the cocaine and stuff like hitting across his face, and then we'd have to clean up his whole face, and then we would, you know, reshoot again. But yeah, it was fun, and it was cool to do obviously a lot of Steadicam work as well. Very much like the original, doing it, you know, always keeping the camera moving on certain stuff. And you know, I love a film where I've always loved films that, you know, that start straight away. That it's just like do you remember back in the day, you used to watch the James Bond films, and it was always like it's his previous thing, and it starts with the action straight away, and then, you know, and then it goes to the story. So it was great to have that, like, bang, here's the melt, here's what everybody, you know, wants to see, and this is also what's to come in the film, and then, you know, and then have that nice pacey chase, which is also has those like funny moments in it with you know, with Chef and Ronald and Maggot.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
What draft of the script did you write in a severed penis into? Because like that's one of the most iconic things from the original for me, of like the bums all playing like football with the severed dick. How soon into writing did you put that in there?
I think it was, yeah, I think it was just like probably the 3rd or 4th draft or something like that of the script, where we knew that obviously people wanted to probably, you know, see that. Again, this is a loose like a loose sequel, and it's just a nod. You know, the people that are fans of the original, it's just those little nods like that where, you know, a good fan will notice. They go, oh, okay, this is, you know, like the dick thing. The funny thing is, I kind of wish it was still in there. I don't think it's in there. I'm pretty sure it's not in there. But I've seen the film obviously like way fucking too many times with all the cuts and stuff. But there was the severed penis bit. There was a really funny bit. Yeah, it's not in there. But it was one of those where it's like, you know, do I put this in or do I not put this in? But there was that penis scene, there was an extra bit on top of it. So when he's bleeding, he's shouting and stuff, it actually cuts to Ronald and Chef behind that gate, and they'd start chatting to each other, but they're watching Maggot like bleed out, and then next thing Chef goes, "Oh, what's this?" And he picks it up and he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he goes, "Oh, it's the cop stick," and he's like, "Ugh!" And then he throws it, and it actually lands like outside that gate. It is there, you can't really see it. Outside that gate, there's a guy having like a barbecue, and as he's got the bun and he's about to put the hot dog on, the penis lands in there, and the guy puts sauce on it, and then he takes a bite. So we actually took that out, but I think it because it looked a bit. It looked a bit. I kind of liked it, but I think it looked a bit fake. But I mean, the fucking severed dick also looks. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's it's that silly, funny, funny humor. But I think it just would have been that extra bit funny actually if we. Actually, I haven't thought about that for such a long time. I think it would have been funny. It's just the way he's like, ugh, and he throws it, and after smelling it, he throws it, and it just lands in that bun. And as it lands in the bun, the guy's already put like the sauce on it, and the other guy's taking it and already biting it like straight away.
Oh my god, that's incredible! So, deleted scenes on the upcoming physical release, maybe?
Yeah. So for Vinegar Syndrome. It will be in January. And obviously that scene, it should be there. I'm pretty sure it should be in that. It's just a clip. It's literally a few seconds, but I'm pretty sure it's on. It will be on the Blu-ray for deleted scenes.
Awesome.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
I forgot all about that. So you're the first guys that I've actually told about all about it. So when you release this, you're gonna be like, you're gonna fucking say something about the severed penis. It wasn't.
We've got the inside scoop on the.
That's gonna be the thumbnail of like the YouTube video. Some dude holding a hot dog with a severed dick in it or something. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I have another question involving your work going forward, because obviously, Street Trash, it's been a hit. Fans are loving this movie. I think fans of the original are going gonzo over this movie. Is there another because I consider Street Trash just one of these underseen movies where like hardcore horror fans know about Street Trash, but like your everyday horror fans that know about like Halloween and Friday the 13th probably don't know what the hell Street Trash is. Is there another movie? Go ahead. Is there another movie you'd like to tackle though?
There is some names that have come up that I've been approached for, but I don't know. It all depends on story and this, and I've also got other scripts that I want to do. So it really all depends. On that note, I forgot what I was going to say now. It was funny. Yeah, it's great. It's been great that I've had so many original fans love this movie, because a lot of them were like on the fence and didn't know, because when the press got hold of it, it was all like remake, reboot, and I'm like, it's not. It is a loose sequel. But again, we should have probably called it Street Trash, Melt the Rich, instead of that just being a tagline, instead of just calling it fucking Street Trash. But it's done now, and it's fucking out. So I think that when it first came out, also it was like I try to keep, even though everybody fucking loves Sokol and stuff, I try to keep Sokol like a secret as long as I could, because if you're listen, I'm a Street Trash fan and lover. If I didn't make this movie and I'm waiting and I hear about this movie and then I see a fucking image of this guy, I'll be like, the fuck is this? What the fuck? It's not fucking Street Trash. What the fuck is this? So I try to keep that. Like, it totally makes sense when you watch the film. And it comes into that 80s world, having a little prosthetic puppet and shit. So, and it totally works with the character. I just like the people that, once the people have watched it and they see it, it's like, they love it. Like everybody's a big fan of Sokol and, of Gary 2-Bit. So I think it's one of those things that even with Sokol, I didn't put him too much in the film. I think he's in there just enough. I think people did want to see him a bit more, but I think he's in it just enough not to like piss you off or annoy people too much. He's just, he's just in it enough. But yeah, I think it was fun doing Sokol's voice, and I think it was like the flashback when he's like, he was doing the cocaine and all that. You know what I mean? There was lots of funny moments with the puppet, and even with the marketing now. I don't know if you guys saw on my page. I did like when a date with Sokol, and it's him going on a date and all that, which is quite fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, Sokol was a complete surprise going into this, and a very welcome one at that. So I love that character. So it paid off keeping him a secret, that's for sure. All right, last question for you then, Ryan, before we wrap this thing up. It's the one we leave everybody off with. If someone's going to watch Street Trash, either they're going to rent it on Amazon or Fandango, or they're going to watch it on Screambox, or they're going to buy that physical copy from Vinegar Syndrome, what movie would you pair it with for the ultimate double feature? And you can't say the original treat. You can't say the original treat Street Trash or Fried Berry. Fried Berry?
Fried Berry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think Street Trash and Fried Berry, it's one of those films where it's a cool film to watch with your friends. If you get your friends to come around, all watch it together. I think it's one of those films. It's such a great film to watch it with the audience and watch it with friends. So, and Fried Berry was exactly the same. So whether you're getting drunk or you're getting stoned or you're eating pizza or fucking whatever you're doing, I think it's cool. On grab your friends and check it out together.
Hell yeah. And Fried Berry animated series coming sometime next year, maybe.
Yeah, it's just I've done an episode. I've just got to finish the end part of the episode. But yeah, it's quite out there. I'll just say that.
Awesome.
It's quite out there.
We're big fans of R-rated films getting the cartoon animation treatment. So we'll if you ever.
I think that like the day and age that we live in now, it's weird because there's a lot. We're in that like cancel culture, and people go, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't fucking do this, you can't say that, and we all know what's right and we all know what's wrong, but there's certain things like did you guys ever watch like Little Britain, the UK TV series Little Britain?
No.
Oh fuck. Okay, you guys got to check that out. But anyway, it's when you watch these certain things and it's like inappropriate, and it's inappropriate, but you also have to look at life in a certain way and have a sense of humor and personality and laugh at it. It doesn't mean somebody's racist, and it doesn't mean this, and it doesn't mean somebody's sexist, or it's just it's looking at the world in a different way. You know what I mean? And that's, for me, it's one of those things. It's personality and sense of humor. You got to be able to laugh at life and laugh at things, and it's again, it always comes down to personality and sense of humor. I mean, I think some people these days, if they're laughing at something or they want to laugh, they're looking around to go, is it okay to laugh? Is anybody laughing? Is it okay if I laugh? And I just think like the way people are today, everybody's so fucking sensitive, and it's like just like it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay or trans or anything. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, if you get on and you're friends and everybody's human, just like fucking just be nice to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like so fucking stupid. So but I think that in this day and age, everybody's like fucking Karens, and they're just like, oh, they just want to fucking grab onto something. And I'd be like, just like, chill out, chill the fuck out. It's just a fucking movie, you know what I mean? Or it's just this or that, you know?
Just chill out, be nice to people, and watch fucking movies. Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? It's like, nobody's got time to be fucking horrible to people. Nobody's got, well, some people have, but I mean, it's like, you know, like, you know,
the rich people that get melted in street trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why we melted them.
Yeah, more people chill out, chill the fuck out, get with your friends and watch Street Trash. Ryan, well, thank you again for coming on. This has been a blast. We love the movie. Can't wait to see what you do next. And where can people find the movie again? Where can they find you online?
So right now it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Apple. It's going to Screambox next month, which is in a few days. I don't know what date in December, but it's coming out. And then, and then it's also on Fandango. And then in January, we had the hard copy release by Vinegar Syndrome. And so it's, and then after January, it will hit everywhere else outside of the US.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Ryan, and congrats on this movie. It's a banger. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to speak to me as well. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for tuning in to the Screams from the Basement podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. Please like, rate, and subscribe. You can follow us on any of our social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. You can also help support the podcast by buying exclusive Screams from the Basement merch on our TeePublic store. This includes hats, t-shirts, and so much more. Link to our TeePublic store in the episode description. For more Screams from the Basement content, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can get exclusive bonus episodes to the podcast, video vlogs, movie reviews, and so much more. And until next time, sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.